of the European towards Jews also because of what was happening in the Second World War, this guilt feeling was helping us to have a state of our own, but they have also a guilt feeling towards the Palestinian that they have to pay for the problem of the Jews. That was the problem in Europe. So there are here two guilt feelings. And this is the reason why this problem is stuck for about 140 years. This is the longest conflict in the world in a certain way. Yes, I don't know, perhaps you know something, but really a conflict, and so much invested in this conflict.
Correct.
So many aeroplanes are coming with ministers, with president to solve this problem, and they cannot come to solve the problem because there are two guilt feelings towards one to another, to the Palestinian one side and to the Jews in one side. And
perhaps we should suggest, I would, if you would allow me to suggest, that it's not just a problem of the guilty feelings of the Europeans, because I think what we're talking around the table right now, we are Israelis. Yes. We're talking about how does Israel handle the situation? Perhaps how does 2017 look different than in the past? And if that's the case, then we need not to focus on their guilty feelings, but what is our position, what is our posture? You talked a lot about the history, but where are we today?
Today we have now a land, about 78 of this Palestine, original Palestine, Eretz Israel, is Israel. There are 22% of this land in the Palestinian, what we call.
We, in the use sense of I wouldn't call Palestinian land.
Whatever, Eretz Israel, Palestine or Eretz Israel, call it as you want. The two names, Palestine or Eretz Israel, this was...
but you're talking about 22% of the land which is disputed territory.
It is not even disputed, not only because Zone A and B in the West Bank are already part of the Palestinian Authority. All the dispute today, if you want to analyze it, is about 3,400 square kilometers. This is the dispute. This is the heart of the dispute about what you call Zone C, and because A and B is belonging to the Palestinians, and Netanyahu come every morning say, God bless Oslo. God bless Oslo, because otherwise I would have to send the Israeli soldiers to the Kasbah in Shechem, in Jenin, in Ramallah. So he say, God bless Oslo.
You think he says God bless the disengagement of 2005 as well?
In
Gaza?
Of course, in Gaza he said, okay, Gaza, you know how many people were killed there in Gaza, how many tanks were bombed. He say to them, better, for these 8,000 that were there, they are out, I'm free from Gaza. From time to time there is a short war with Gaza. They are crazy, totally crazy, but it's finished. So in the dispute now, if you count it in kilometers, square kilometers, about 3,000 and something like that. That's all. And here's the question. We can, and of course Jerusalem is included, East Jerusalem is included in this 3,000 and something square kilometers. And now this is the question between the peace camp and the national camp. Now, if you think, okay, we are going to buy a national state, and I'm going to absorb another 2.5 million Palestinians into the identity of the Israel, when we have already about 1,800,000 Palestinians inside us that are Israelis. So you are creating a kind of a binational state. But if you say no, you can say, okay, we can manage the security problems about, first of all, the Jordan River, when the Israeli soldiers will be there, and we will prevent that the chaos from the Arab world will enter to the Palestinians. Palestinians will say to you, thank you if you will close very well the Jordan River in order that we will not have Syrian refugees alongside our house or even here. So The question is to come to some sort of an agreement with them, and this can be done. And the question, of course, is the settlement. The settlement had very much put a burden on the possibility of having such a solution. And you ask yourself, why we put settlement? I can say always, we could keep the army there for 100 years. I'm ready. If people will say we have problems with the Palestinian, we don't want to repeat the same situation as Gaza, you have to put the army there for another 100 years. I'm okay, if people will convince me. But why to put civilians there? This is because of the malady of the Jews. And we have paid for this.
Which malady of the Jews?
The malady of the Jews is that they don't see territory as a part of the identity. All their life, all the history of the Jews is entering to the territories of other people without having the problem. I mean, they regard the territories of the others as hotels. They're coming to Germany, they're coming to Poland. They are good customers. They don't interfere in the internal affair. But this is already from the Babylon Exodus, from the Babylon, from the first temple. The Jews in the second temple, half of the Jewish people were already spread all over the Mediterranean and the Roman Empire. And this was given, the thing was given by God. Because what God? The Jewish people were not created on his land. He was created in the desert. He wasn't created,
that's correct.
The Torah was not given him in his land. This is the only one exception that a people wasn't created on his territory. You can speak about the French.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yes. So from the beginning, God said to the Jews, "You come now to Eretz Israel. If all will be okay, you will be okay. You will be there. But if you will not behave properly, you will be exiled. You will be exiled but you will still keep your identity." And I don't believe there is another people that can imagine that he will be outside his territory and still keep his identity. You cannot imagine that the French will be outside. All the French will be outside from France, and then they will continue to be French. They gave us, the Jewish religion gave us this element. It cannot be even religion, it can be other thing that can keep us everywhere, and keep our identity without a language, without even with a very feeble, very weak religion, without nothing. The identity is in the head. And for this we paid the most terrible price ever people had paid. And I'm not thinking about the expansion from payment, etc. So now we are returning to a territory. We have a territory. The question is, what will happen with the settlers? This is now the question. If there were no settlers, we could finish the